Lakeside Dental Clinic, Go Island, is brought to you by Lakeside Dental Clinic.
The spa experience isn't complete without the sounds that you experience while you're there, and it's safe to say that the house sound here at the Grotto Spa at Tigh-na-mara is prepared, performed, provided by Peter Jack Rainbird. We're meeting him today on Go.
Local food on local menus, starting at Nanaimo's Edibles, left behind after suicide, processing the emotions, and the boys are back on the clock.
We're here inside the Treetop Tapas and Grill at the Grotto Spa at Tigh-na-mara Resort, and this is Peter Jack Rainbird. You might have seen him if you've spent some time in Parksville, putting this beautiful sound out into the environment as he performs and plays at the boardwalk at the Parksville Community Park. He's got his second CD out. We're going to talk to Peter Jack Rainbird today on Go Island. But first, we're throwing things over to Annette Lucas. There are a lot of people who are asking to have locally sourced produce and processed foods on the menus in restaurants. Annette Lucas is here now with more on that. The Extended Suites Unravel is the second release from Peter Jack Rainbird, and for those who haven't actually heard it, is it possible to describe the music?
To describe the music?
Yeah.
Well, people use terms like ambient. They see me playing an electric guitar, so there are certain cultural expectations with that. They're expecting kind of a rock band to step out. So you're challenging a lot of their ideas around what it should sound like. Mm-hmm. And other people, in a way, just listen to it as music that isn't about a guitar or about a genre, and they just, just let it sort of wash over them a bit.
Now you have a background in the full-blown rock band with vocals and all the different instruments, and you stepped away from that very purposely to explore sound.
Yeah.
That was where it started.
Yeah, there was a hiatus of a year or two that was spent in British Columbia. And then during that hiatus was just a personal exploration of sound and emotion and what emotion really does. So that's sort of what started the exploration. And
it's now actually proven to be more than how does music make you feel, but what does it scientifically do to your brain, your music?
Right.
Tell me about that.
A gentleman called Paul Elder, who has been a real champion of the music, also is part of the faculty for the Monroe Institute in the United States, and they study sound and the effects of sound upon the human body and the human brain. They found that it was helping with synchronizing the spheres of the brain. So you have left and right hemisphere that are often juxtaposed to each other, and they were finding that when people were listening to Unravel, that there was a synchronization that was occurring. There was an encouragement of just a more even field of thought and emotion.
Some more of the roots of Unravel goes back to civic activism and using your sound, your music, to contribute to community.
Yes.
Tell me about that.
There's your life at home and there's your life at work, and there's the way you experience your city and what a city does to beautify that and make it more enriching. And I really felt compelled to contribute to that. And the best way I can do that is through music. So in a way, Unravel, on a civic level, I wasn't wanting them to sort of look at me while I was playing. It was more look at where you are and see that in a new way. And that's where a lot of fans came from. That's where a lot of people that champion the work. It's where companies like Sounds True and Warner and those people came on board because they saw that. Unravel didn't come from the traditional clubs and cafes because it just doesn't work there as a genre,
Oh, and I'm kicking myself because we want a whole half hour, an hour to ourselves, but we don't have it. We'll be back with a little bit more from Peter Jack Rainbird after a short break.
Still to come today, dealing with the suicide of someone close, one woman's story, and it's a bit of a scramble for the boys on clock.
Every 40 seconds, somewhere in the world, someone dies because of suicide, and every 41 seconds, someone is left behind to figure out what happened and why. Rhonda Williams is one of those people. Here's Kelly Robinson. The Vancouver Island Crisis Line is hosting Souls Remembering Souls, an event for people who have been left behind because of suicide. That's taking place at the Port Theatre on Saturday. No, it's a Sunday actually, November the 23rd. The doors open at 2 o'clock. A presentation begins at 2:30. You are encouraged to bring a pair of shoes, and then these will be donated to people in the community with need. I've attended this event before, and it's very impactful and emotional. If you'd like more information on Souls Remembering Souls, you can give them a telephone call, 250-753-2495. We're here with the general manager of the Tigh-na-mara Resort because the 6th annual Toy Drive is coming up. That's taking place November 26th. What is it, for those who don't know?
Great to have you back again, Kate.
Thank you.
This is our way of starting Christmas and looking at the community, and we've embraced the Society of Organized Services, those local SOS, and their Caring for Kids program. Basically what we ask people to do is bring a new unwrapped toy, come down, enjoy a great breakfast here at Tigh-na-mara, and all the proceeds go to the SOS and all the great work that they do. And the whole goal is to make sure that no child goes without opening a gift this year at Christmas.
Now the children that we're talking about, I mean the cute cuddly stuffies are one thing, but we're looking for the tweens and the teens to help them have a better Christmas. And you don't even have to get out of your car, is that right?
You don't. You know, you can drive through and just drop off. We'll give you a cup of coffee and probably a muffin to go, and leave your goodie, get on to work. But everything is welcome. But you're right, it's the teens and tweens that we often forget at Christmas, and really it's about trying to make sure that every child gets something this year. So that's our focus, but everything is welcome. Even a cash donation is appreciated.
Excellent, even cash. What do you know about that?
Cash
now,
is
you've
king.
been doing this for 6 years. It's growing in popularity. How many people came through last year, and how many toys were collected?
Last year we had 1,600 people come through. So parking is a little bit of a challenge, which is why we put the drive-through in place. But if people can carpool, come down. It's a great, great feeling, great camaraderie. 1,800 toys collected, a little over $2,400 in cash last year. A number of gift cards, because those are great for the tweens as well. Go out and get some clothes or get some music and that sort of stuff. So everything is welcome, but it just warms your heart to start that day and see the community coming together. We had somebody come up from Victoria last year, just so they wouldn't miss the event, and it was just kind of, that's amazing when the whole island starts to come to Tigh-na-mara and Parksville and give to such a worthy cause.
Excellent. That takes place on Wednesday next week, November the 26th, 6:30 in the morning until 10 a.m. They will provide you with breakfast, bring an unwrapped toy, and it's a partnership with the Society of Organized Services right here in Parksville. We're going to be back with more from Peter Jack Rainbird after a short break. So we've talked about what your music does to people's brains while they're listening to it.
Right.
What does it do to you when you're playing it? Where are you? What process are you going through? It's not like reading sheet music that you've written.
And I can't read or write music either, so that would be redundant. It's just a timeless space, and you become really unaware of not where you are. It's almost a dichotomy. On the one hand, you're not there, and yet on the other hand, you're more present than you feel you could ever be.
Can you replicate the same thing twice when you go into the studio? Or how do you know when you've got it right?
Right. You listen back, and you know in the same way that maybe a painter does when they're on a canvas, and you step back and you know whether you've got it or not.
One of the things I say in this job is that as much as it is about sharing information and asking questions and talking, it's about managing energy.
Right.
Are you doing that with sound?
When I'm playing and there's an audience there, people start to look a little different. You start to kind of see a little bit beyond just if you recognize them or not, and you're sort of listening to the room in a way that's inside the music. You're sort of inside the music, and you're trying to let everyone else inside it as well. So you're trying to kind of get yourself out of the way. And in a way, that's sort of what feels like it happens with the audience. We sort of take ourselves out of the situation, and then suddenly we're in that experience of connection, and just trying to cultivate that.
And a sharing happens in that process. It's
That's why you're there, right? You've created this experience, you're feeling it, and so you want to do everything you can to try and let other people feel that for themselves, and then they'll have their story with the music or their experience. So.
And we've only managed to share a small part of Peter Jack Rainbird's story because of that darn clock keeping us on time. If you'd like more information, www.peterjackrainbird.com is the website. He's got some performances coming up in Vancouver. We'll tell you about that a bit later on. It's time now to throw things over to Todd and Derek. We're going back in time for a retro edition of Clocked. I think I can feel the balancing in my brain listening to the music of Peter Jack Rainbird. His second CD is called The Extended Suites Unravel. It is the house music here at Tigh-na-mara, and it all started by performing on the boardwalk at the Parksville Community Park. You can learn more about Peter Jack Rainbird on his website. If you'd like to hear him live, there's a performance coming up on November the 27th, which is also Jimi Hendrix's birthday, at Banyan Books in Vancouver, and then he's launching on a worldwide tour. Check his website for full details. He will end up back in this region before too much longer, and he is going to be heading into the studios as well, working on another CD, Transmission, recording in New Zealand and Hawaii. Yes, he does live a very exotic life, and we've been happy to share and spend some time with him today. Thanks for watching Go Island. We'll see you next time.
Lakeside Dental Clinic Go Island is brought to you by Lakeside Dental Clinic, a division of the Vancouver Island Implant Center, delivering dental services, including dental implants and sedation dentistry, all under one roof. Clothing supplied by Catwalk Fashions. Kate's Hair and Aesthetics provided by Maffeo Salon.